The article that I talked about, and again, you can see this article on my website, blackonomics.com. Blackonomics.com. You'll see it on the screen. But it's titled Sending Out an SOS. And I'll just read a couple of paragraphs from it for you, just to kind of set up where I'm going with this. It starts out by saying, for years now, we've been involved in movements, events, and initiatives organized for the purpose of saving black people from the ravages and vestiges of historical discrimination, disparity, and disenfranchisement. We've had meetings, conferences, forums, and seminars whose purpose was to provide a roadmap to true freedom for black folks. Our public discourse, in large part, at least the so-called conscious among us, has been centered on self-reliance, political and economic empowerment, and self-determination. Reflecting on the results of our rhetoric, I offer the following insights and, if I may, recommendations. In light of the fact that black people have no real voice in the political process, not with the president, not with the Black Caucus, not even with many of our local black politicians, it seems to me that we must do, what we must do as black folks is the same thing as the Tea Party did. It seems like to me we ought to start our own party. Look at the success they've had. Because politics is local, we must act on a local level to appropriate the benefits we need to survive and thrive in our own neighborhoods by electing black folks and others who have our best interests in mind and are unafraid to act on our behalf. If the black vote is as important as everyone says it is, then why aren't we leveraging it to the extent that black people get something back for it? Why are we always talking about our vote is so important, but yet when we cast it, we get nothing back for it? And then we complain about that. Two reasons. We don't vote smart, at least on a local level, and we don't leverage our collective vote to make sure that the politicians that we elect respond to us appropriately. Once they get in, they do what they want to do. And we'll see them the next 2 years saying, oh, please vote for me. This is what I'm going to do for you. Not what I have done, but what I'm going to do. It's always what I'm going to do. And then the article goes on to say, economically, black people are in deep trouble. We have the highest debt and the lowest net worth. We have the highest unemployment and the lowest savings. We have the highest interest rates and the lowest asset base. We have the highest dependency and the lowest self-sufficiency. We demand the most and supply the least. In many cases around this country, if a crisis arises, black people could not feed ourselves for a couple of weeks. We could not take care of our children's needs, and we could not provide assistance to others. We have no infrastructure to deal with crises. Thus, we would all be isolated in our own little cocoons, individually trying to fend for ourselves. Picture that. Picture that. Think about our position in this economy with all the things I just mentioned and others. And do a hypothetical. What if? Do some what if scenarios in your mind and see where you would be as an individual and where we would be collectively if a big crisis occurred. And then I go on to say, we are too busy watching reality shows and living vicariously through other celebrities, worrying about who's going to win a dance contest and what the joke of the day is, to take just a little time to deal with the problems we and our children face in this society. Maybe they're just too overwhelming and depressing, too daunting for many of us. We talk a lot, but our actions do not reflect our own collective reality show. Now, I know a lot of you watch these shows and you get hung up and you get fired up and oh, this person should have won, and oh, did you see what the housewife did, and oh, what about this reality show, and we got one now with the Toni Braxton sisters, and oh, we just love that stuff. And we begin to live our lives vicariously through them because we don't like the one that we see in reality. We don't like our own reality show. So we'll live our lives through someone else. but what is that going to do for us? And all of the conversations and discussions and arguments we get into, many of them revolve around somebody else's issues, not ours, someone else's. And we get fired up, we get mad at one another and talk about one another. And folks, don't y'all know these are millionaires and billionaires out here arguing with each other? And we get involved as if we got some skin in the game. Some of us are facing huge economic challenges with different things that are going on in our lives. I personally, and I may as well stop here and give some kudos and congratulations to my daughter Kaya, who is graduating from high school this year and has decided which college she's going to attend. And I am very, very proud of her because she has carried such a huge workload in addition to her extracurricular activities. And when she was putting together her college applications, I looked at her, one of her applications, and she had like 4 pages of things that she had done. And man, when did all this happen? You know, time flies, you know. But I'm just proud of her because she and it wasn't easy, but she managed to balance her workload and extracurricular activities, albeit some nights staying up all night and not wanting to get up in the morning and all those kinds of things. But she managed to go through her 6 years of middle school and high school, making nearly all A's in all of her courses. This year, she ran into IB calculus, and that's really causing a problem. And I can't help her with it because I know nothing about calculus. You know, other than that particular struggle in her courses, I mean, she's done excellent. She's number 4 in her class. She is, I think, a 4.6 GPA. That calculus may bring that down a little bit this quarter, but just so proud of her. She was accepted at every school she applied to, but I'm proud that some of the top schools in the country have courted her. Harvard, St. John's. She didn't apply, but they courted her. She was accepted to the University of Southern California's Annenberg Journalism School. And they only take like 20 students in, and about 3,500 applied. She was one that got accepted. She also got accepted at Northwestern University's Medill School of Journalism, which is the #1 school of journalism in the country, up in Chicago. She got accepted at New York University, which was really her first choice. She thought she wanted to go there, and they have an excellent reputation. She was accepted there and given a partial scholarship from there and USC. She was accepted at the University of Miami of Florida with a full scholarship there. She was accepted at Ohio State University with a full scholarship there. Accepted at North Carolina A&T University in Greensboro, North Carolina, full scholarship there. Accepted at Howard University, full scholarship there. Howard is in Washington, D.C., of course. And there, I know I've probably missed a couple, but I'm not ashamed to brag about her because she's done just an excellent job in school, and a lot of it was on her own. My wife and I, Sylvia, tried to put her on the right path, and you know, it's been a struggle. It hadn't been easy. I know you parents out there know what I'm talking about. But you know, I'm proud that Kaya has stayed on that path and done her work and gotten to where she is. So, what school did she select? Well, after much deliberation and conversation and all of that, she decided to go to Howard University for a myriad of reasons. And I told her that, you know, she's gotten some, what can I say, funny looks from folks because she decided there instead of some of the other more prestigious schools. But I told her next time somebody gives you that funny look or questions that, just tell them that Howard was good enough for Clara Huxtable. And really, my daughter really wants to go into the film industry. So just tell them that. Tell them it was good enough for Elijah Cummings. And there's a whole list of graduates from Howard. Ken Price's daughter, Kristen Price, graduated from there last year. Kenya James, remember Black Girl Magazine? Was on Oprah, started a magazine at 11 years old. She was here in Cincinnati at the Entrepreneurship High School. She graduates this year from Howard. So I'm proud of Kaya and her stepping out. It's going to be tough. It's always tough letting go. But I'm proud of her for what she's done, and I just want to brag about her a little bit. So that's it. I'm going to finish with this religion topic. I am so sad sometimes when I watch TV, especially the channel that I call Buffoonery, Exploitation, and Taboo, BET, and some of the things that it brings to us in terms of religion. You have this guy Popoff, and he's popping off all the time about this little water that he has for sale and something else that he has, and he's hitting people and they're falling out and all of this kind of stuff. That's just on all the time. And then this other guy, this prophet, Master Prophet. I was watching that the other day and I was just sitting there just shaking my head. It almost brought me to tears to see the stuff that this guy says and how people just buy into. I mean, I guess we're looking. I guess we're hurting so much, we're just looking for something. But you know, the problem is we're looking for convenience. We're looking for something to make us feel good rather than to do good. And so we'll fall prey. And the Bible speaks to this, of course, that, you know, we're going to fall prey to these kinds of things. Some people are just looking for you know, it's called that itching ear syndrome. And we're looking for somebody to tell us something that makes us feel good. And this guy was on the other day, and he was talking about, he kept saying Amos 3 and 7. And then after that, he was saying, well, all you have to do is sow a $37 seed. Oh, now I see where the 3-7 came from. Sow this seed and you can get this and you can get that. Last time I checked, God ain't selling his blessings, number one. But this guy just kept pumping. All these other folks are coming on, the apostle this and the prophet this, and all these folks coming in talking about, oh, this is such the anointing and all this kind of stuff. Don't you know, folks, where that's taking us? Especially if we buy into that. And all you have to do, if you are that concerned about understanding, is to read and to get some help if you don't understand it. Talk to somebody, do some studying for yourself. Don't sit there and be led down a primrose path by some joker, some charlatan who's telling you all you need to do is send him $37 and you can get a blessing. Or everything's going to be okay in your life. You're going to get a check. Your finances go. Is that what religion's all about? If it is, we have gotten to a sad, sad place. But yet this buffoonery, exploitation, and taboo channel called BET just brings it to us in droves. Oh, they just love it because we love it. And it's called Black Entertainment Television. And that's exactly what it is, Black Entertainment. Not Black Enlightenment, not Black Empowerment Television, but Black Entertainment Television. Bob Johnson made that clear a long time ago. But we need to understand that that's what it is too. Entertainment, not enlightenment, not empowerment. It's entertainment. And these religious shows just gripe me to no end because it's sad to see people buying in to the ridiculous stuff that is said on these programs. And the fact that they would present them to us says it speaks volumes about what they think about us as consumers of television. It speaks volumes about what they think about it. These folks don't care. They're a bunch of lemmings. They're a bunch of sit around, do nothing, wanting to feel good folks. So give them anything. Give them a bunch of shows about some black men in prison, taking drugs, killing one another. And then on Sunday morning, give them some stuff about some water that they can buy, a little dab of water, and it'll make them okay, or they'll get some checks in the mail. And break out a scripture from the Old Testament about what the prophet says. And if you read Amos 3 and 7, don't just read that. Read Amos 1 through 8. and get the whole context of what it says. But yet this one verse was taken out in this particular show, and it kept saying 3 and 7, Amos 3 and 7. But send me $37, a seed, just a small seed, and your life will change. You'll get all kind of financial blessings. Give me a break.